Have your water next to you. It's live.
Hey, everybody!
Well, wait, some people can.
Welcome.
What you writing?
Hey, everybody. I love this because we got plant medicine and plant food together now.
That is true. I'm very excited about, what we're about to go into and tell you, and also just very excited to be out at the farm.
Yes.
And on a very, although be it, because it's Florida muggy day and hot.
Very disgusting
But
hot.
it is
July
very
day.
sunny, and it is a beautiful farm. So despite my fear of birds, I am very happy to be here.
I always try to make them hold a chicken or a goose but now I have a one-legged pigeon. Will you hold her?
I did see her outside.
Will you hold Brenda?
I'll admire her from a
Come on,
distance,
hold
so.
stubby Brenda's hand. We have a rescue pigeon. One only has 1 foot, and I learned that when they release the doves for peaceful whatever weddings, that's bullshit. Don't ever do that. Do you know they literally breed the birds, take them to the events, and release them? And I'm sure everybody thought they flew back home.
Oh, okay.
They don't fly back home because they've never been outside in the wild. So they either get injured, die, eaten, electrocuted because they have no idea how to be out. So I guess I got one of them. And her name's Brenda. And she's got 1 foot, and she survived, and now she's living her best life here at Firefly Farm.
Well, better that she's here.
I know.
That's a very interesting intro that we just went through. The history of
Brenda the pigeon.
Brenda the pigeon.
Named after the pigeon lady in Home Alone.
Oh, okay, that
If
makes
you were
sense.
wondering.
Yes.
She looks like a Brenda. Is anybody watching?
Yeah, we got 14 people
Woo!
here. Susan Robbins says,
Hey,
hello,
Susan.
Billy.
Okay.
Two
Hi.
Crazy Cat Lady says, hello, love.
Oh, hi, honey.
Julie Jacobs says, hi, Angela.
Hi, Julie.
Billy. Two Crazy Cat Ladies wants you to know it's Home Alone 2.
Oh, Home Alone 2. Sorry. Thank you. See, they liked my bird story. My pigeon story. Yeah, it's a pigeon.
Well, we are here for a reason. I think that's very exciting. We are going to be partnering on some really, really cool stuff, which we're going to tell you about. But I guess first we're tell you about why we're, partnering. And I think I'm
going to stop you. Before that, why don't we tell people who Billy is, just in case they only know CBD Dog Health.
Oh, they know.
Just
Those
in
of you who
case.
don't know, Billy was the Nutrition Science Director, or VP, or Vice President by the time you left, Answers Pet Food, which used to be my favorite pet food company, mostly because of his knowledge and how he educated me and helped so many pets that we see. And he's no longer with them. And he now is with Green Juju. When he was at Answers, I constantly was going, let's do something together, whatever. So that was always there. I was always bugging him about that. And now he's at Green Juju, which makes me so happy for 2 reasons, because now he's going to partner with us. And the other reason is now he's in plant food and we're in plant medicine.
We are, so I am the...
Good to be green.
Yes, I am the Vice President of Nutrition and Communication. And so we are, we do have products that obviously feature, bone broth, and feature, we have treats that are obviously, organ meats and meat-based because it's dogs and cats. But we are primarily a plant-based company, which is really exciting for me to be able to kind of dive into that part of it. And, having, known Kelly Marion, the founder of Green Juju, for, the last 10 years and been, using the products and watching that, I thought it was a really great fit for supporting what we already have, and then also some really cool stuff that we're working on. And, up until, we got a lot of irons in the fire, and I think we're going to bring you guys some really exciting stuff. So
yeah, we know a lot, and we know a lot about how food and natural remedies can help our pets, because we have seen hundreds and hundreds of dogs benefit from a real food diet, from real natural plant medicine. So we're really excited to share what we know. We're going to create some virtual events. We're hoping we'll be able to create some in-live person events here in the next end of the year, and then really in the spring together. We've also partnered with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies, which we're really excited about. We're going to do some wonderful things so that we can help our cats also, since they're specialists in that and have an amazing line also. I know Carnivore was going to do some stuff with us, but we're going to come out with some wonderful events to help specific ailments that we've seen so many dogs suffer from that really can be helped when convention didn't help or isn't doing it all. These natural things can really help. And I know a lot of you watching know that already, because you're probably already felt the benefits for your puppies or your dogs who are already on a real food diet, who are already, experiencing the benefits of bone broth or CBD and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. And I think the whole point of that is to say all of us have a piece of what is needed to actually be able for health, and for me it's about what do we do, what can the average pet owner do that works for them to get the best health outcome in the end, because there's never a guarantee of X, Y, and Z,
right?
But it's all about what will give me the best probability to get the best health outcome. So what I like is we can get experts from in different areas, and as she mentioned, really getting into some live events, I think more in a little bit in the larger scale in the springtime. But if we're in an area, we will partner with a local vet in that area. We will, that's one of the other things we're going to go into, to be able to, because, everybody loves to go to an event or a conference or something, but hey, we can take a few of our core partners and go to different cities. We can also take, and then partner with people who are local to that area, and we can really start to help as many animals as possible. So I think that's going to be, I'm excited just talking about it. So
me too. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. What you may not know is that Dr. Zach and I do consultations all the time. And the reason that we do them is a lot of times people can't find a holistic or an integrative vet in their area. Or if they are lucky enough to find one, because of the pandemic, they're not taking new patients or the wait is so long. So we literally have calls every day of people trying to know what to do. When we do these consultations and protocols, we don't just say, take this CBD, because that's not how it works. So we are constantly recommending real food, whether it had been a raw food from Answers or now green Juju and their bone broths and the goat's milk and all these things that help. All of these things work together to help your pet. You can't just do one thing and think it's going to take care of it. You're not going to be able to help your pet who is suffering with a full spectrum hemp extract if you're still feeding a shitty kibble. So you've got to support the gut and the immune system, and they all go so nicely together. So these are the types of people. So mushrooms, we love mushrooms. We want to tell you about those and how those work with real food and real plant medicine. So we know a whole bunch and we want to share it. We want to share our success stories. I'm sure you have lists and lists of emails from people saying, thank you, my dog's turned around, here's before and after. So we've kind of put all that together and figured out how we're going to present it to you guys so that you can just be more educated and empowered, so that you can go ask for the things you want, go look for the things you want. And then most important, how do you find the real products? How do you know you've got a good product? So how to find that, research. Just today, we did a consultation with someone in Canada. So literally, we looked for her local boutique store to see what she had, which happened to be Planet Paws, Rodney's store in Halifax.
There you go.
So, which they can't get CBD there. So we were basically telling her how to get it from a medical dispensary in Canada. So we pretty much, if we don't know, we'll be able to figure it out. And that's what we want to share with you guys.
Well, and also too, the greatest part about, what is coming too is a lot of people don't have access to a holistic veterinarian. And, having worked with vets for the past 10 years, you can see, I've had many people reach out to me over the years and say, I just don't have access to a holistic vet. And I understand most people want to see a vet. They want a vet's opinion. They want to be able to do this. So one of the major things we're working on as well is actually partnering up to provide better access through telemedicine to holistic veterinarians. So no matter where you are in the country, you can, get a consultation with Dr. Zach, and he can go through, what he might have some natural solutions for you. And we also want to get more vets on board as well to do the telemedicine side of things. And I think the program could be, eventually even bigger than that, but just starting where we want to meet the need of doing that, just, you know, for the sheer fact of helping animals and making dogs and cats healthier. So I think in the very near future, you're going to see that program launch, you know, from us. And then so
do you also know that we train vets? So a vet who's not trained in diet and nutrition or knows nothing about medical cannabis, I've trained hundreds now. I've been doing it since 2015. They weren't taught about it in school. So people like us know more than they do. So we share our knowledge with them, educate them. Then they end up practicing it and seeing finally incredible results in their practice. So these are the vets now. We've got a whole advisory board of vets who have been using real food and real natural plant medicines to totally turn around dogs' lives. I say it almost every live. Dr. Trina Hazal in California, who is the chief of oncology at the VCA, turns to cannabis before anything when she's dealing with a cancer patient. So there it is. That's just going to spread. So the more vets that get educated, more integrative vets there will be, more holistic vets there will be. So as we also always say, go to your vet if you've got your favorite vet and say, hey, we know people, if you do want, that will train you so that you can bring this into your practice. Keep on telling them, because you can't ignore it. They're not going to be able to ignore it. They're going to want to know more and more. And soon you'll be able to get these things. You'll be able to get a vet that goes, oh, okay, just today, someone recommended I got to ask you about this food brand, a great food brand, but was feeding her dog chicken, her 15-year-old, dog with cancer and heart issues, chicken. So just that piece of information where she said, I think I know a good food brand, but that's all she was able to do, and not even be able to say, but don't do chicken. So those types of pieces of information are so valuable to a vet, instead of just going, pick science diet.
Well,
pick
and
Cayman.
Yeah, and I think too, it's great to partner with them because of the, everyone has something to bring to the table, and vets know many things that I don't. And by the way, shout out to Florida Wild Vet, who I will be at on Monday. I've definitely worked with them in the past, and am very much looking forward to working with them in the future. And so I really think that our number one goal at Green Juju is to really affect the diets of every animal. And I know there are people who are never going to feed raw food. They're never going to, but we still want to help those animals. We still want to be able to, meet people where they are from a very non-judgmental place. And I think veterinarians are going to be the way to do that. So by the way, if you're a vet that's watching this and you have interest in this program, reaching out to either of us would be, a fun idea. I think,
or if you have a vet that you think be open to it, we'd love to. And we may, if we're in the area, we'll go visit them. We'd love doing that. We love vets.
She just likes to give me more work and travel. So that's the good news.
You're so happy you're traveling again. He loves traveling.
It's a little bittersweet, nowadays.
I'm sure.
With the family.
He was just complaining about not getting an updated picture of his baby.
Yeah, so if my wife's watching this, you really let me down.
She's literally crying under the desk.
Number one,
she's
not watching this. And number two, if she'll kill me if she is. So now that I said that, so that's good.
That's good. All right. So what else? You got any questions?
Yeah, we can go. I think that's all our big announcement.
It is
so that's
a big
awesome.
announcement.
So
we're working together. We're partnering to educate pet parents and vets. And
talk about Lua for a second.
Yeah, how's Lua?
Lua is very good.
First baby.
She actually turns 15 on August 17th, and she, she's definitely like an older dog now, but she's been doing great. Obviously, I do a lot with her nutrition. I make her food at home, but obviously, incorporating some of the ease and doing things like that. She's been great.
Incorporating the ease from CBD Dog Health?
Yes, exactly.
Whoa,
right.
How nice.
And, I'll say the last thing that I always brag about is right before we had Maple, we went on a baby moon, and Lua went on a 5-mile hike with us, and she's you know, she was 14 and a half. So for me, my favorite thing is focus on quality and hope for quantity when it comes to our pets. And so we all want them to live forever, but let's give them the best life possible, right?
And Odie is also going to turn 15, but in September.
Okay.
He's September 15th, so he's like the same age as Lua.
They're secret soulmates.
Secret soulmates.
So
What, Odie? Did you hear that?
Angie, I got a question I think you'll really like. Lori Lee wants to know, are there herbs that you can add to help the bioavailability of the CBD oil when using for pain management?
You betcha. So remember, when you're using other adaptogens, like a medicinal mushroom or a frankincense or even turmeric, they will get synergistic. So it's like when you put 3 or 4 together, they work even better. So absolutely, you can add those things. If you're dealing with a potent full spectrum hemp extract, that's pretty much going to do the trick. But my, Nina, who has osteosarcoma, I do use the Horse Ease, which is a lot more full spectrum, and it has the frankincense and turmeric in it because I know it's even better for fighting inflammation, fighting the cancer, and the pain. So absolutely.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that about the horse one.
Yep.
But I did notice that actually, kind of like smelling it.
Yeah.
So I definitely was like, oh, this is a potent batch. So okay, this is all making sense. And I will say too that if you've ever looked at Green Juju's products, we love turmeric.
Yeah.
And it's in a lot of our products, and it's there for a reason. And we see a lot of value in the anti-inflammatory properties of that. And we're there's some cool stuff we're working on too in that realm. And so that's what I just love about finding people in the industry is, we're all part of the same solution. So it's just been, I think there's more value in that harmony than there is in us not working together.
I agree. I love working with people and everyone being in their little realm of expertise and us trading stories and successes and what works. And
I mean, I don't like you so much, but aside from that, Hernando's pretty great. But aside from that's the only reason I'm here.
I have a question for you guys. That's kind of related for both of you. Is so for those of you who don't know, I hope you can hear me.
Hernando's talking.
Is that when you take CBD, you or your pet, if you take it with something fatty, it's actually going to stay in your bloodstream longer. Mm-hmm. So, Billy, are there any good fatty foods that you recommend?
Well, I think fat is like one of the most important parts of diet, and it really gets overlooked because fat has been demonized in human nutrition. And so your dog, as long as your dog is on a species appropriate diet that has the right amount of fat, you should be able to do that. But if you want to pair it with something, obviously like in the Green Juju, we have something like coconut oil, which is really probably one of the only plant sources I would be looking at. But other than that, I mean, if you have grass-fed butter, if you have raw butter, even better. But if you have, things that people used to use like lard and things like that, that's all great as well. And I know that, you guys are using the MCT oil, which is very good in regards to that as well. So
and we use the coconut oil in our salves. Yeah,
exactly. So, when it comes to that, it's sort of like their diet should be made up of, basically, I advocate for 1-to-1, typically fat to protein ratio in dogs and a little bit higher in protein in cats. And so as long as they're on that healthy diet, they should be able to assimilate. And with the added, with what you guys are doing with the added, it should be fine.
Cool.
All of my answers are 40 minutes long. This is what happens when I do live Q&A, like Q&As at stores. So there's like 2 questions in 2 hours. So.
I started with a pigeon story. So
We got a question from Gail Foote.
Hi, Gail.
She says, what are the benefits of dandelion? I'm starting to feed Green Juju again and waiting for the cure to come out with food. I don't like feeding freeze-dried.
Oh, okay, great. So, dandelions and dandelion greens, I think the number one thing they're known for is liver detoxification. So, but the other thing about, dandelions generally, and obviously they kind of fell out of favor. People kind of just consider them to be a nuisance, but they were used, I guess, for more medicinal purposes. And I would equate that to general that type of plant health. So anytime you're using, let's say, dandelion greens or kale or something like that, you're going to get, you know, a similar boost of antioxidants from all of these types of, you know, dark green leafy vegetables. But the cool thing about dandelion is you're going to get, you know, different benefits from each. Hi, I know you like dandelions. From each, you know, each part of that. But I would say, you know, in our blends, we're primarily, you know, using it for that liver detoxification along with the bone broth. So both of those things will help with that as well. So
Cool.
Wes Burke says, question for Billy.
Hi, Wes.
What can we expect next from Green Juju and when?
Well, I can't really get into what, but it's going to be soon. We have a lot of things on the docket here coming up, and also I think we're going to do something really cool when we release them and how we release them. So that I'm really excited about that. But I think we really hit the ground running. And I'm sorry if this is like kind of a crappy answer because I can't be like, this is what we're making.
Stay tuned.
But we one of the things that I was telling Kelly the other day was I just, you know, we hit the ground running with you know, coming out with some new stuff, and I didn't really expect, you know, this much enthusiasm in that department, and it's been really cool. And so the most definite answer I can give you is you won't have to wait very long.
Cool.
And I think everyone will be very excited, and I'm also obviously excited in, you know, a little bit down the line, because obviously it takes time to do these things, but to introduce you know, some fermentation and you know,
Awesome.
I think people saw that coming, but
Awesome.
that will be really exciting in a new sort of fun plant-based way.
Right.
So.
And those of you who don't know, we have stopped using our manufacturer who was doing our treats. So we're talking to Green Juju about that also, and hopefully working with them on getting their whole food bites, which those are new, correct?
Yeah, they were.
And those are really cool.
I can't remember exactly when. I mean, I wasn't with them, but
because I just saw it on my
last year,
distributor.
yeah.
So I just now saw it pop up.
Oh,
on
got
my
it. Yeah,
distributor.
they're really great. We use heart and liver, so obviously those are the most nutrient dense organs. You know, the liver is essentially like nature's multivitamin. It's actually, if you look at the amount, not the array of vitamins, but the amount of each single vitamin that it kind of like specializes in. It really is the most nutrient dense food on the planet, liver. And then heart, obviously, one of my favorite things about heart is that it actually is double the amount of collagen than just like muscle meat. And so we pair that with a different colored vegetable. So we have beef red, bison green, and salmon blue. So we have different colored vegetables to get different antioxidant properties. And so I just give Kelly so much credit for thinking of that and for developing that product. The more we work together, the more I'm like, she really is like one of the true innovators in the industry. So does
it make sense to you? I don't understand what dogs love a healthy treat just as much as an unhealthy treat. So why do people still buy unhealthy treats? Feed them something that's going to support them.
Yeah,
that's yummy. Yeah. Don't get the one that's filled with all kinds of.
They're going to love it just as. Yeah, they're going to love it just as much.
And it's good for them.
Yeah, and this is great.
Imagine if someone handed you a piece of broccoli and it was just as good as chocolate. That would be awesome. But it's not that way.
I don't know, though. I eat a lot. I've been eating, ever since we had the baby, I've been eating a lot of steamed broccoli because it's really easy to do it, and it's really good.
Yeah, but it's not chocolate.
I mean, it's covered in raw butter.
Weird.
Though, so
that
makes it a little bit better. So.
Do you have more questions?
Shout out to Pennsylvania.
Well, I'm going to ask another question because the most searched questions on the internet for dogs are what fruit and vegetables dogs can and can't eat. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for, there was a study that just came out that showed that animals that are, the more you share food with them when they're growing up, the better immune system they have, which makes sense, obviously, because the more you want more exposure, you want more nutrients. So it was
the opposite of the message of don't give them people food. Yeah. It was if you gave them people food or even just the scraps of what you didn't eat, they had a healthier immune system.
I mean, essentially, I would argue that there is no such thing as people food. There's just food.
There's just food.
And so It's basically, it's funny because people, I think, want a definitive list of, oh, we're gonna, can I feed this or this? You can mostly feed anything, aside with like a few different options. And even some of the things that people think you can't feed, you actually can, because, dosage matters and how they accumulate or how they, get this information in studies usually is pretty extreme. So, my number one thing that if you're just at home and you're, wanting to give your dog stuff, berries are my number one thing because they're high in fiber. So you're not going to get that, super, blood sugar spike, and they're just super healthy. I know my, Lua's like one of her favorite foods is, Emily, my wife will eat, raspberries with raw cream. And Lua gets like this close to her face and is like, okay, that's my thing. And that's such a healthy thing to give in both cases. And so I would encourage people to do that. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, obviously something like green juju
makes a decision for you.
I would be remiss if I didn't point out that we do something that is, and again, this is all Kelly. We do something different. So Kelly was actually the first person to innovate that as a product on the national scale for pet food. It's not just a pureed blend. What we actually do is juice the vegetables and then add the pulp back in. So it's an extra step for breaking it down so dogs can assimilate.
Absorb it more.
Yeah,
Awesome.
assimilate it better. And it's almost like breaking it down like in the gut of, like an animal that like a wolf would eat in the wild or something. So I always thought that was such an innovative concept.
Yep.
And so again,
and I would always get
so
mad when I juiced and I was like, what am I supposed to do with all this? And I literally would go feed it to my chickens.
Yes, exactly.
And they would eat it. But that's awesome.
So yeah, I don't,
Hate waste.
One of my goals, in working, because I think more obviously, I think more people know me, is to really show, I guess in joining Green Juju, what Kelly's done in the past and really, show that she has been one of the more innovative product formulators just generally. So, and I feel very lucky to be able to work with them. So
Cool. Any more questions?
We're good.
I think we're good.
We're good?
Are you good? All right. Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thanks for coming to the farm.
Yes,
Tampa.
absolutely. Now we
Thanks
get to
for
go to
coming.
dinner.
Stay tuned for more. That's right.
Yeah.